Hi everybody, welcome back to On Air, my Beatles collection. Today I'm going to start a series on VJ albums, and I'm going to do these one at a time. So today I'm going to start with the Beatles versus the Four Seasons, and here it is. So I just was able to recently acquire this, and I considered it an upgrade. There's no marking on here. Nobody kept score of which track they liked best. Nice, clean gatefold. You know, for those of you outside the United States, I can't really talk about how popular the Four Seasons were at various places around the world by the time this record came out. In later years, they became famous as the Jersey Boys, and there was a play and a movie, and many, many more hits after they left the sinking ship known as VJ. But several of their songs on here, Sherry being one of the biggest, Big Girls Don't Cry. I mean, these were big hits. Candy Girl. These were very, very big hits here in the U.S. I think they were elsewhere, but I can't really speak to it. I was 9 years old when this record came out. We heard the Four Seasons music on our local radio all the time. I heard it in my own house. My siblings had Four Seasons records, and then all of a sudden they were pitted against the Beatles because VJ was a sinking ship, and that's all they had that they could really offer to the world that had high commercial value. So what you got for the Beatles lineup was yet another copy of Introducing the Beatles, which was the flagship set of tracks that VJ owned. And so they repackaged them in many different ways. Of course, they lost the rights to released Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You. Those only showed up on version 1 of Introducing the Beatles, and they do not show up here on this track list. It's interesting that there's 4 Beatles, there's 4 members of the Four Seasons, so it makes for a nice cover, and the tracks tend to line up at the time. The only Beatles songs on here that were hits where I Saw Her Standing There, Please Please Me, Do You Want to Know a Secret, Twist and Shout. The rest were pretty much all B-sides or album tracks, so arguably they weren't top 40 hits. And so the comparison of one to the other was not as far-fetched as it might seem nowadays. So that's what that looks like. And then there was an inner sleeve. Unfortunately, with this acquisition, I only got one. Of course, there's 2 records. So I only got one of the original VJ inner sleeves. I do have more of these in some of the other VJ records that I'm going to talk about in future videos. And so here is I took it out of the paper and put it in a poly-lined sleeve. This is the copy of Introducing the Beatles that came with this. This is in excellent condition. The cover, shows a little age wear. The record does not show any age wear that I can see. This record is pretty darn good. There's a little debris on there that wipes right off. But there's the debris I was referring to. I'll take that off. Anyway, this record is in great shape. So that's the Beatles one. And of course, there's another one, which is the Four Seasons record. And this is from their record called The Golden Hits of the Four Seasons. And this one, too, is in excellent playable condition. And both are on the VJ Brackets label. And I mention that because I also have another record, which is golden hits of the Four Seasons. And the reason I got this, actually, is because I was concerned that the record that came with my Beatles versus the Four Seasons might not be as clean as I'd like it. As it turns out, this one is not as clean as I'd like it. The one that came with the Four Seasons, Beatles versus the Four Seasons, is fine. This one was played. It has a little spindle wear. It has some marks. It needs to get a bath, which I haven't done yet. And this one does not have the brackets label. This has the oval label. It still is not in bad condition compared to many that I've seen. And when you look at the cover, you see the side too. I mean, it's pretty decent. It's got a lot of original sheen. When you look at the cover, you see some, I don't know if that's mildew or, it's been exposed. This could probably be wiped up and cleaned off with a damp cloth. There's no visible ring wear or anything. And this album, you can pick this up in a Salvation Army if they have it for probably $6. So there's nothing valuable about this other than this is in pretty darn good condition. Again, I think the cover can be cleaned up because I don't think that's anything permanent on there. The back is nice and clean. The record needs a bath, and it's got some scuffs on it. But like I said, I bought it as a backup to the Beatles versus the Four Seasons because I wasn't sure what I was getting, and what I got. Direct comparison. This is the one I got of the Four Seasons. Same songs, it's the same record. This one has the brackets label, the other had the oval label. But this is pretty clean. So that is my somewhat rare and valuable Beatles versus the Four Seasons. This was an upgrade from one I already had. Unfortunately, neither of them, you've probably been asking yourself this question from the start of the video, but does it have the poster? And it does not. Unfortunately, the other one that I have, which is of lesser quality, also doesn't have the poster. The poster itself, I've seen them go for hundreds of dollars. This record now is worth a couple of $100, maybe $300. I've seen it anywhere from $200 in this condition to $400 or $500. So, these VJ records, when they're in good shape, particularly when the vinyl is in good shape like that is, they're rapidly increasing in value, it seems to me. So, anyway, that's my Beatles versus Four Seasons. If anybody wants to sell me or give me a poster, I'd love to have it. I actually saw 2 posters on eBay yesterday. They were, I think one was $60 and one was $70, and they were self-confessed repros. So they weren't even original posters. They look original, but they were repros, and they were still asking, I don't know if they actually sold, but they were asking, $60, $70 for the poster. So someday maybe I'll have the poster too. In the next several days, weeks, or months, I'm going to be going through my whole VJ catalog and showing all the other VJ records one at a time, and have some fun with that. And then at some point, I'm going to break out the VJ 45s and EP and talk about those as well. I've got quite a variety of VJ labels. They have white labels, black labels, purple label. There's all kinds of varieties there, and several songs were put in a 45 format. And of course, there was the famous Souvenir of Their Visit to America EP, which I also have. So that's episode 1 of the VJ album series, and as I said, there'll be more to come. So stay tuned here. If you like the video, please hit that up button, up like symbol. And if you're not a subscriber, please hit that and come back and see us for some future videos, and go back and look at some of the older ones as well. So thanks for stopping by today. We'll see you next time. Bye.